Welcome to Madison Street on Chicago's west side. That building on the right is called the United Center, future home to the National Hockey League Chicago Blackhawks. Scheduled opening next fall. The building on the left is Chicago Stadium, just across the street. Scheduled closing, maybe tonight. The Chicago Blackhawks, one of the NHL's original six, and since 1929, they've called Chicago Stadium home ice. Some of the game's all-time greats have brought the stadium crowds to their feet, like Bobby Hull, the Golden Jet, who has more goals than any Blackhawk ever. And Stan Mikita, who has more points than any Blackhawk ever. And goalie Tony Esposito, who guarded the stadium nets for 15 years. And they brought a Stanley Cup to this building in 1961. Tonight they'll cheer new names like Tony Amonte, whose 4 goals got the Blackhawks back into this series with Toronto. And they'll cheer Jeremy Roenick, whose overtime goal knotted this series in 2. But in Toronto, they're cheering their Maple Leafs and a youngster by the name of Mike Eastwood, whose lone goal has the Leafs on the brink of winning this series. Daryl Sutter, Jeremy Roenick, Chris Chelios all know the situation. Win tonight or a season and maybe an era comes to a close. National Hockey Night brings us live inside the place they call the Madhouse on Madison, Chicago Stadium, for Game 6 of the Western Conference quarterfinal series between Toronto and Chicago. The Maple Leafs leading the Blackhawks 3-2, looking to close it out tonight. I can say, John Davidson, is if you don't have goosebumps after listening to Wayne Messmer's national anthem at a Blackhawks game, you better check your pulse because you're not breathing.
I'm not so sure people realize it, but Wayne Messmer was involved in a shooting accident, or not an accident. He was shot, was not able to be here and do that. That was a CD, but it's just wonderful in this building. Felix Potvin gets the start again for Toronto. Interesting, watch him early. He was hit right on the face mask with a slap shot in warm-up, went down, was attended to. Let's keep an eye on him early.
And Eddie the Eagle Belfour carries the hopes of the Blackhawks to stay alive tonight. There you see his record, but look at the goals against, below 3. Ironically, his goals against better on the road in Toronto than it is here. Andy Van Helleman is our referee tonight.
And right away, Toronto changes on the fly to get Zezel opposite Roenick.
And the Blackhawks threaten the Toronto zone, but the Maple Leafs carry her right back out. Darby Hendrickson getting a bit of action on the first shift of the game. Coach Pat Burns sending the former U.S. Olympian Hendrickson just up from St. John.
Pat Burns knew that he would not be able to give his lineup until after warm-up, not knowing whether or not Doug Gilmour could play. Gilmour can play, and it looks like Pat Burns will change on the fly here. Gilmour started, the puck was dropped. Gilmour went right to the bench. Peter Zezel came on the ice, and that's the Roenick matchup. Now, as we see here, that checking line is on the ice for Toronto. Right away, Coach Sutter, Daryl Sutter, took the Chicago Roenick line off the ice. Now let's see if the checking line, when the puck's dropped, goes right back to the Toronto bench for another change on the fly. Coaches are matching up here, changing on the fly. It's like a chess game early.
Daryl Sutter will have the last change. Remember, he has home ice. The home team has the right to make the final change before the referee says that's enough.
And Toronto just changed all 5 of its players.
Felix Potvin covers up on the doorstep. And Coach Daryl Sutter was taking a lot of heat around these parts, John, as the regular season wound down, and he was down 2 games to none of the series, but now he's still in it with a couple of games left.
Well, he had never won a playoff game. Then his team won 2 on home ice. The home team has won all games in this series. Now, as soon as Toronto made their change we got changes all over the place here. It's unbelievable. So again, another change. Roenick back on the ice as Toronto took Gilmour off again. This is wild.
Daryl Sutter did not have his team practice at Chicago Stadium yesterday after Tuesday night's game number 5, but they did report here last night for meetings and those who needed it for medical treatment as well. The Leafs did not practice here yesterday either. Face off in the Toronto zone. This is Dave Ellett behind his own net. Puck comes loose to center, and Chris Chelios, who will be out there probably as much as Ray Bourque would be in a situation, about 36 minutes tonight. They get a lot of ice time, he and Gary Suter. Here comes Todd Gill as he takes the shot. A whistle by linesman Ron Finn. Steve, that's Game 7, right, Steve? That's an S-E-V-E-N. Mary Melrose taught me how to spell that last year before we went up to Toronto for Game 7 against Doug Gilmour. And there he sits. He looks like he's got ants in his pants waiting to get on the ice.
Amazing. The trainers were able to take the ankle. The doctor was able to freeze up the sore area, and he's out there playing. Way he'll be able to play. He is now right off the draw here. Zezel caught a high stick from Schenz. No penalty. The linesman may have seen it because Andy Van Helleman certainly did not. but he took the stick. When the two centermen and the puck was dropped, they were really in a dogfight, battling for the puck. Shands had his stick come right up into the face of Zezzel.
Now, John, we have Brian Lewis. He's the supervisor for this series and also the supervisor of officials in the NHL. Going to be interesting to see what, if anything, is called here by Andy Van Hellemond.
The linesman certainly can if they're in a position to have seen it. You can see there's been, it looks like, a small cut above the left eye of Zezzel. So that sometimes can be the determining factor. Now, Shands, number 11 for Chicago, and Zezzel battle for the puck. The puck jumps in the air. Shands and the stick. There's the second play, but it was the initial play where Shands had his stick come up. So far, there's been no penalty handed out at all.
Well, Van Hellemond came out with a survey of the situation. The linesman for tonight's game, assisting Andy Van Hellemond, Ron Finn and Brad Lazarowicz. And I don't believe a penalty has been called on this. Well, head-to-head in this series in Toronto, the Leafs are 3-0, and Chicago's only scored 1 goal in those 3 games. Here in Chicago, the Hawks are 2-0, but Toronto has still scored 7 goals in the first 2 games of the series. Here in Chicago, anyway, and the leading scorers, Doug Gilmour, who else, with 8, and Roenick right behind him. And there's Peter Zezzel. He'll be back.
Well, we're 52 seconds into the first period. We've got our 5th line change already. These two teams, and it looks like there'll be a lot of changing on the fly here during play, line changes during play. They have both stayed away from too many men on the ice penalties in this series thus far. Now here's Ron Finn, the linesman, talking to the 2 centermen about the sticks coming up and the play that probably just happened with Zezzel.
Gilmour takes the draw with Roenick, and they keep their sticks down. Gilmour takes it away from Roenick and fires in. Gilmour immediately heads to the bench, and the Leafs get a line change.
Who's going to give in first? Which coach is going to stop? Maybe if Chicago will trail, they may have to just get away from matchups.
Chelios slobs one in on Felix Potvin from center. You might say, why do that? Well, in this building, it could be a big play because Potvin admits he has trouble tending goal in this building.
It's a much smaller ice surface here, shorter ice surface. From center ice in, he doesn't have nearly as much time as what he does in Toronto in handling the puck as it's dumped in the corner. So he may just stay in the net, not wander too much.
Did that bother you here in this building, John?
I love playing in this building. Tom, you gotta love it.
Tony Amati shoots it in the corner. Roenick pitches in. Keith Carney tries to get it to him, but he's bodied off nicely by Osborne of Toronto. Eric Weinrich pinching in on the right point. Joe Murphy and Sylvain Lefebvre behind that. Maple Leafs look to clear, and they do. Roenick carries back in offside. He doesn't think so, but we could see it clearly from our viewpoint. Brad Lazarowicz blew it down correctly for a face-off.
Felix Potvin, as we mentioned during warm-up. It was late in his warm-up, only about 2 minutes left in the Toronto portion of time in which they're allowed to be on the ice to warm up. He got hit right on the chin. And you can see Peter Zezzel, it was either Zezzel or Pearson, one of the 2 players that caught him with a slap shot. And there was a lot of attention paid to Felix Potvin, but he was able to regroup prior to coming onto the ice, and he looks like he's just fine. He's only had the 1 long shot to deal with, but does look comfortable.
Face off just outside the Toronto zone. As comfortable as you can be after getting hit in the face with a puck. Chelios from the point. Those are shots that bothered Potvin on Sunday night here.
Well, this is Dougie Gilmour's 4th shift. He's played 16 seconds so far. Another offside as there's been no flow at all thus far in the game, and it's mainly because, in my mind, the 2 coaches trying to find a way to get the matchups on the ice that they want. Here we see it settled in. Gilmour on the ice opposite Brent Sutter. I think what's happening with Pat Burns and the coaches is they want the defense pairings as much as the forward pairings against players. Now that's amazing. See what happened to Gilmour there? He blocked the point shot with his right foot. And that shows some courage. That shows why he's in there. That shows why he's got a big heart and why he's the best player with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Right ankle's bothering him. He can hardly walk on it, yet he blocks the shot with his right ankle.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Gilmour, all that heart, take the body in this game as well. Now, a disagreement here between Captain Dirk Graham and, is that Todd Gill?
No, yes it is.
That's Todd Gill, Toronto, yep.
They had a collision at the sound of the whistle for the icing.
Remember,
Gill wasn't too happy.
Dirk Graham, the last game in Toronto, had a collision with Dmitry Mironov, and maybe Gill was carrying some hard feelings from that because the Leafs felt that Graham went knee to knee with Mironov, and that's why Mironov isn't available tonight.
Todd Gill not happy there with the fact that Graham tried to take the body on the icing call. I'm sorry, Tom, the defense pairings we're talking about, Rouse, make that Lefebvre, along with Jamie McCowan, Toronto wants them on the ice against Roenick. For Chicago, they want Chelios and Suter on the ice against Gilmore. Maybe as much as the forward matchups.
Darby Hendrickson, the new arrival for Toronto, took the face-off and lost it. Here come the Blackhawks, Brent Sutter. Sutter shoots it into the corner to the right of Potvin. Sutter now goes behind the net, taken away by Darby Hendrickson. You saw him over at Lillehammer with Team USA.
A lot of speed. He did play a lot over there with Team USA. He's primarily a penalty killer, but he has a lot of speed, and that's what Toronto's trying to add into their lineup.
Hawks dump in for line change on their own. Todd Gill is back for Toronto. Gill was one of the goats here at Chicago Stadium in Game 4. His errant clearing attempt was knocked down by Joe Murphy, led directly to the winning goal by Jeremy Roenick in overtime, and at the time, even the series. Now Eric Weinrich takes a hit from Wendell Clark, and they're going to have the game's first penalty on Toronto as Clark got the arm up, and Christian Ruutu gets hit by Eastwood. We may have another one.
Oh boy, Toronto really trying to throw the body checks. Wendell Clark threw 2 big hits. He really nailed Poulin. And Jeremy Roenick here should just step away. Yep. Toronto could be getting 2 minors. Ruutu is down and injured. You can see Van Helleman trying to help him out. Chicago's got to retain their discipline here and allow Toronto to take the penalty minutes. Here's Wendell Clark moving across on Weinrich, and you see the elbow to the face.
That's uncalled for.
Now that's the first minor. Now he moves across and nails Poulin right here. Big time hit. Now it's a clean hit. Boom! Right into the dash. And then at the stoppage, Jeremy Roenick had some words with Wendell Clark. Ruutu, by the way, is still down after his collision with Eastwood, and you can see the trainer has the smelling salts out, so Ruutu can get his eyes back in focus.
Ruutu has been a player that the Blackhawks have been openly dissatisfied with his lack of productivity down the stretch of the regular season and so far in the playoffs.
They only had 9 goals all season long, and they wanted him to establish himself as a number 2 center. When you're the number 2 center and you score 9 goals, that's just not good enough.
Well, they're not going to call a penalty on Ellett for the hit on Ruutu. They aren't going to nail Wendell Clark for elbowing. That's the penalty. 2 minutes for elbowing at 3 minutes and 7 seconds.
Wendell Clark here. Now this is the hit on Poulin. Well, he just crunched him right into the boards of glass. But Poulin is heavier, body weight, much heavier than Wendell Clark, so he was able to absorb the hit. And then I think it was Eastwood with the hit on.
Face off at center. Jeremy Roenick was very upset that another minor penalty wasn't called against the Maple Leafs. All that fracas, but the Hawks will take it. Now we're playing for the next 1 minute 52 seconds. 3-2. The Toronto Maple Leafs lead this series in games. They win tonight. They'll advance to the second round. If Chicago wins tonight, Game 7 at Maple Leaf Gardens on Saturday night. Sylvain Lefebvre controls the puck in his own zone, but shoots it into the crowd. Face-off in the Toronto zone with 1:36 left on the penalty to Wendell Clark.
Again, Pat Burns goes with his number 1 unit on the blue line. That's Lefebvre, whom you're looking at, along with Jamie McCowan to start the penalty kill. You have to remember, Chicago's power play, their number 1 unit is awesome. Roenick had 24 power play goals during the regular season. The next highest on the team was Joe Murphy and Chris Chelios with 7. Now, if you have to send out your best penalty killers early to combat the number 1 power play unit. Chicago really doesn't have a number 2 unit. The number 1 unit with the 5 players on the ice: Joe Murphy, Roenick, Amonte, Suter, Chelios. That's as good as there is in the league when they're hot. The first minute here is very critical for Toronto's penalty kill.
And the Maple Leafs do their job, clearing it all the way down behind the Chicago net.
Nezzo won the draw and has now gone off. He's won 4 of 5 faceoffs early here in the first period.
Here comes Gary Suter, had a hat trick in Game 4 here Sunday night to set up the heroics by Roenick in overtime. Suter will try and keep it in, but can't. And Manderville is all over him. Minute 10 to go, and the penalty to Wendell Clark of Toronto. Tony Amonte sends it in, gets a bad bounce, and tries to come in on Potvin. He's taken down, no penalty.
That's 2 of those bad bounces off the glass. If you're Felix Potvin, the Toronto goalie, maybe you ought to just think about staying back in the net and not take any chances.
Here comes Suter, 50 seconds to go on the Clark penalty. Patrick Poulin into the Toronto zone, and the whistle for an offside on Jeremy Roenick. Faceoff will come outside the Toronto zone. If you're wondering what trends we've established in the series. One critical trend as we look at Gary Suter, who had the hat trick in Game 4. Whoever scores first has won every game of the series. So, you know, the Hawks want to try and get on the board first here tonight.
Well, Suter and Chelios will stay out, it looks like, for the entire power play. Suter and Chelios have the good shots from the blue line. Felix Potvin was saying today that he can't believe how their shots seem to get through all the time. So they can carry them off 3 different people, yet they find a way to the goal. It's some special knack that those 2 players have.
Well, it's very simple. They have radars on those pucks. That's all. There comes Chelios to Suter. Suter wrapping around the boards. Comes loose to Chelios, who keeps it in, but right on the stick of Bill Berg. Berg, extraordinary penalty killer. It's part of his resume. Takes a hard hit in front of the Toronto bench. The fans here love it. 15 seconds to go on the Clark penalty. Eisebart over to Poulin. Ellis sends Patrick Poulin to the ice. And a good clean check in the corner. 5 seconds. The penalty be over. Eisebart the shot. Hit traffic in front. Route 2 in the corner. Clark is now out of the box, but the Hawks are set up in the Toronto zone. Chelios the drive. Hits Poulin. Goes wide.
They may have carried off the outside of the goalpost.
Chelios now pressured. He takes a hard hit from Wendell Clark, and he may not have been ready for that. Doug Gilmour in front. Wendell Clark is playing like a man possessed.
Oh, man. 2 shifts for Clark. He's taken a penalty. He's hit 3 people. He even jammed the goaltender on the play. And a good hit on Chelios. Now watch his stick go into the goaltender's arm and stick when Belfour already has the puck. There's no reason to do that. He's just playing an exuberant first period, and he's been given another penalty. Now Chelios, his shot here is redirected. It catches the outside of the goalpost with Patrick Poulin, big number 44, standing in front. So Pat Burns knows that Wendell Clark is playing hard, but he's playing overly aggressive and has taken 2 minor penalties already. And if Chicago gets that first goal, the momentum really shifts to their side.
Here comes Keith Carney to center ice. Remember, center ice not as big here as in some arenas. Joe Murphy the long drive. Pad saved by Potvin, who closed him just in time.
Chelios and Suter have played so much that they cannot start this power play.
Eric Weinrich. He's with Keith Carney for the moment. Inside, Tony Amati can't get to it before Sylvain Lefebvre does. There's the save. 1:25 to go, and Wendell Clark's second liner penalty. With John Davidson, Tom Mees at Chicago Stadium. Leafs looking to close out the Blackhawks. They lead the series 3-2.
Chicago has had 2 shots that have registered on Felix Potvin. Both have been long shots, and this is the last one. Joe Murphy, who broke up the wing, and you can see he's been given the outside lane. There's no way the goaltender should allow that to squeeze through. That's his job. It's a bad angle long shot. You can see how Lefebvre has forced Murphy to the outside. The goaltender's green. You can shoot all night long from over there. It's a good job by the defenseman forcing the power play man Joe Murphy to the outside.
Chelios is on the ice now, John. Guess how long his last shift was before taking the ice down?
He'll probably play around 33 minutes during the game, Tom. How long?
2 minutes, 18 seconds.
Normal. Normal. He and Suter.
All right, the Hawks setting him in the Toronto zone, and there's Suter with another blast. The rebound in front. Joe Murphy.
Oh.
And Potvin a save.
Oh, my. Good shot from the point. It got through. Tony Amati standing right in front. Murphy never stopped moving. And when he got to the rebound, he was on the backhand, and he had to just bat it quickly towards Felix Potvin, and what a save this is. Look at Amati battle to get through Dave Ellett. There's the screen, the save, and there's a rebound. Now here comes Joe Murphy. Backhand, slap at the puck, and oh, my. What a save by Potvin. Potvin doesn't quit. He knows where the puck is. Now he has to find a way to get over there. Look at him. He's swimming across the goal crease. Makes a great save as Murphy had to deal with the bouncing puck and could not be accurate with a backhand to the top of the net. Great save.
Joe Murphy, of course, was the one denied in Toronto the last game in game number 5 by Felix Potvin in a very critical situation when the game was scoreless and it was late in the 3rd period. So Joe Murphy has to think that Felix Potvin has this number.
Well, Felix Potvin starts quickly. One thing interesting about him, look at his skates. Look at the tape. You know, you see football players, running backs, they tape their sneakers or their cleats, their football cleats, and really tape them up compact and get support. Well, Potvin does it too. Look at that. To the outside of the skate, all around his ankles, and he says it really helps him with his balance. He said he tried to play without it, and he just loses all of his balance. First time I've seen a goaltender in this league take a big roll of tape, really tape up the ankles for added support, and certainly for him it works.
Joe Murphy down the corner. 52 seconds to go. The Wendell Clark penalty. Back to Chelios at the point. Chelios to Ronick. Ronick to Suter. Suter has no shot. Over to Chelios, who does. Lets her go. Hits traffic in front, and the rebound controlled by Bill Berg. Berg to center. Cross ice to Jamie McCown, who'll just dump in. 30 seconds left to go, and the penalty Wendell Clark. The Blackhawks have spent much of the first period on the power play.
A good play by Dave Ellen. Chicago tried to dump in, and they couldn't do it. Good penalty killing thus far.
After Kulai, almost a giveaway to Dave Anderson. 10 seconds to go in the Clark penalty. Here is Ruutu. Winds around and shoots. Save. Rebound in front. Eisenbart has it. Clark will be out in 2 seconds. Suter got some room. In front to Eisenbart. He's in. And Potvin holds the fort. It's still loose. Clark is back out. And Gilmore clears it.
Potvin's been there. The penalty kill is over. Toronto got the job done. And there's Wendell Clark holding up, not running Suter. He didn't want a third penalty. Potvin has made some great saves. However, in critiquing, he's allowed some big rebounds, too, to keep the play alive, especially the bad angle shots. The last play, man, did he make a save in reading the play at the side of his net by dropping down. Watch here as Potvin is in good position. He's a smart goaltender. Now watch the rebound, though. Look where it goes. Right back out into the slot. Now the play's kept alive. Now, again, watch Potvin make the play where he will drop down. Watch him drop down and read the low shot right there. He read it ahead of everybody else with Poulin and Ruutu in front. He makes a real smart save.
Felix Potvin, who gave up 4 goals on Sunday night, 5 goals last Saturday night, 9 goals scored against him in this building. His last 2 games is acting tonight like he wants to cut that average down considerably. Rouse behind his own net, teams at 5 aside for one of the rare points in this first period. You would have to say, John, that it's advantage Toronto early on, withstanding a couple of shorthanded situations and still getting out of it no worse than even.
Well, Felix Potvin certainly helped him. Zezo helped him by winning draws. It's a good start for Toronto in that area, but at the same time, it also could give Chicago a lot of offensive momentum.
Now, Dmitry Mironov, I said earlier, he probably would not be available tonight. He's on the ice right now, but he's playing with a severe Charlie horse. Right above the right knee area. He and Dirk Graham went knee to knee, and the Maple Leafs think it was halfway intentional by Graham in game number 5. But Mironov is out there now for one of his first chances of the night. Sylvain Lefebvre in the corner. Avoids the check by Shantz. Davinsky, 2 rookies called up late in the year from Indianapolis. Taken away by the Maple Leafs, Mike Eastwood.
Well, this line, Mandeville, Pearson, and Eastwood, is so big that they don't lose many battles along the boards. And we saw an example of that as Eastwood found the puck, got it up and out of his zone.
11:10 to go, first period. From Chicago Stadium, maybe the last game ever played here for the National Hockey League Blackhawks. Will have to wait and see. If the Hawks win tonight, there will be a 7th game in Toronto. And the Leafs, I can tell you, do not want a 7th game. They want to close the deal tonight.
Great chance to give Gilmore 5 days before the next series can start and allow him to have a rest. His team's only had 1 shot on goal.
There's Graham with a shot with Gilmore draped all over him. Graham still got it away. The save by Felix Potvin. 10:41 to go. No score, first period.
Obvious that there's a one-on-one battle here with Graham and Gilmore, but I think what's interesting is watching the goaltender's style. Graham cuts to the front. Now, if we stop it there, look at the goal stick right across the ice surface. There's no way Graham could get the puck up high. There's a little sliding shot. And Potvin, who anticipates well, just sits there and waits for it. Both the goaltenders in this game, Potvin and Eddie Belfour, do a lot of that.
Felix Potvin. Felix the Cat, they call him. He's got the cat lettered on the back of that mask. He faced only 17 shots in game 5, but the point is he stopped all 17, and he had to because the final score is 1-0. Ed Belfour was the top star in game 5 and was the losing goalie.
Shots are 7-1 here in favor of Chicago. Toronto's had 1 long shot, and Belfour during stoppages is down doing all kinds of stretching exercises to stay loose.
In front, Potvin, I don't think ever saw it. Brent Sutter let it go, but it hit him. Brent Sutter again around the net. Loose puck, and Carney can't get to it. And And the Leafs clear. You know, you're speaking about Belfour. I'll say the same thing about him I said about Potvin in Game 5. If you're the Chicago coaching staff and players, you have to worry. Is your goaltender in the game enough? Has he handled enough shots? What's he going to do the first serious chance that comes his way? Something to think about. The Leafs in the first 10 minutes have not had a serious shot on goal tonight.
One long shot. The 2 power plays gave Chicago a chance to get some adrenaline in the offensive zone. Even though they didn't score, it puts Toronto back on their heels, and Gilmore's only played approximately 2 minutes so far, and his shifts have all been short shifts as the matchups continue with the 2 coaches.
Chelios and Suter bottled up for the moment in their own zone. Now it's Amani at center. The Ram line is on there. Roenick, Amani, and Murphy. And Roenick, a weak shot that was slipped aside by Potvin. Back the other way, Wendell Clark. Clark looking to center, does so, but can't connect with McCown. Here's Henriksen with a shot, and a save Belfour.
That was a 4-man rush by Toronto with Crazy Legs McCowan. Jamie McCowan jumping in on the play. Not too much happened until Henriksen had the chance for the shot, and he gets his first shot of the series in his first game that he's played in. An angle shot that Eddie Belfour had a comfortable time with.
Wait a minute. Crazy Legs? Where'd you get
Crazy Legs McWatch him skate. There's a good save on a tricky little change-up shot on Potvin by Jeremy Roenick. Now Toronto can move up ice on the rush. And do they ever head up quickly? 4 men, including Jamie McCowan, Crazy Legs McCowan.
John Davidson said that, Jamie. Not on. All right, Doug Gilmour in to take a face-off. Wins it cleanly. Had scored the net. Got it from Route 2 that time. And here's Patrick Poulin at center. After sitting out Game 5, he's reinserted into the Chicago lineup. LeFay in the corner takes a hard hit from Poulin. Here is Doug Gilmour. You have to admire his courage just being out there tonight. He's double-teamed by Chelios. Hawks aren't going to admire his courage. They're going to try and take advantage of it. Less than 9 minutes to go. First period, no score. Gilmour's centering pass is intercepted by Eisenbart. Eisenbart acquired late in the year for the Winnipeg Jets.
Gilmour on the ice. Suter and Chelios go against him. Chelios already knocked Gilmour down once.
Chelios whirls back. 5-on-5. Chance. Tries to dump into the zone, hits Dave Ella right in the breadbasket. He can't get out of his shirt. Well, that'll call for a face-off and a call for us to go to Steve Lee.
Dougie Gilmour moving into the Chicago zone, a reverse angle look at it, and Chelios, along with Eisenbart, make Dougie Gilmour pay. You wonder about his balance with the bad ankle. Is he easier to knock down? He looks comfortable. It's hard to believe he's even out there, but if you really think about it, know about his heart, maybe it's just a natural thing to do.
I'll tell you what, though, his ice time, I don't think it's going to be nearly what it was earlier in the series. I can't see how it can be.
His shifts certainly are shorter. Say that much.
Puck comes loose to center. Neil Wilkinson on for his first shift of the night for Chicago on defense. Wilkinson acquired a deal from the San Jose Sharks before the season, gives it away to Eastwood. Loose puck in front. Eastwood, the hero of Game 5, takes a hard hit now from Greg Smith, the former Maple Leaf. At center, here come the Blackhawks. Wilkinson, long pass over, and the shot taken there by Rick Sutter. Smith keeps it in. Dmitry Mironov gets it out of the zone, but pays for it with a hard catch. Pearson almost in alone. Wilkinson took it away. Would have been offside. It would have been a 2-line pass. Waves off. National Hockey Night tonight from Chicago Stadium. Maybe the last hockey game ever played here. We'll have to wait and see. With John Davidson, Tom Mees, no score. Maple Leafs lead the series 3-2. National Hockey Night on ESPN. Dave Ella has his going attempt knocked down. And it's out to center where Cunninghurst is there for Chicago. The tension in the air is growing by the minute.
And Chicago realizes they're throwing everything at Toronto, but they can't score. Shots are now 9-2 in favor of the Hawks. Potvin has been very steady.
And icing the call on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Let's take a look at our Miller Genuine Draft League leaders in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Power play points could be a key factor tonight. Gilmour and Andrechuk right there at the top. There you see the duo of Leach and Zubov for the Rangers, who've been doing magnificent work, and Paul Cavallini of the Dallas Stars. But Gilmour and Andrechuk, power play points in the playoffs, they're right at the top.
No, they have not had a power play. in this game, as Chicago's played a very disciplined game. Chicago's had the puck the majority of the time, so they haven't put themselves into a position where they would have to take a penalty. You see here, Eastwood moving in. Hello with the elbow. Oh, that's three of them. A couple of love taps and a real one.
This is a nasty game sometimes. You know that?
Hey, that's hockey. You know what? That's hockey. And I like the fact that Andy Van Hellemond isn't calling every little thing that's happening. He's letting a lot of it go. There's Zezel winning another defensive drop.
Well, the Blackhawks have yet to be penalized tonight. The only two penalties in the period on Wendell Clark of Toronto, pair of minors. And the Leafs survive that.
Lefebvre on the ice. I think the Maple Leafs want him off. They want to save Lefebvre and McCowan specifically to go against Jeremy Roenick's line, and they're up next, by the way.
Eric Graham dumps it behind the Toronto net. Which center goes for it. Back to Graham. Back to Sutter. Harvey Hendrickson was on him. Lets him loose to center to Gartner. He's not been heard from in this series. Gartner taken down. And back to center comes for Todd Gill of Toronto. Onside. The Hawks clear it. Gill again. He'll shoot around the corners. No chase. Delayed offside call, and now a whistle is blown with 6 minutes 9 seconds left to go here in the first period. Still no score from Chicago. Back here in Chicago, Daryl Sutter's Blackhawks shorthanded the first time tonight. 2 minutes for too many men on the ice. First Toronto power play.
We talked about it early with all these matchups and all these changing on the fly. Chicago makes the first mistake, and it's the first penalty for too many men on the ice in the series. It goes to Chicago.
And in this series, the Leafs have been lethal with the extra man, scoring 41.7% of the time. 5 out of their first 12 opportunities have ended up in the net.
On the road.
On the road. 26.7% for the series. But here in the stadium, John, 5 out of 12 against Ed Belfour.
Only the Rangers of New York have a better power play record so far in the playoffs than Toronto.
And Chicago is next to last so far in the playoffs at killing penalties off at only 73%. As Ed Belfour stops a rather routine shot.
This may be where Doug Gilmour gets more ice time. On the power play, you can see the home and the road. What a difference. On the road, Toronto may have to rely on their power play here to get themselves some offense because at even strength, Chicago has shut them down thus far, and we've played nearly 15 minutes of the first period. Dougie Gilmour is the main penalty killer for Toronto. He's the main man on the power play, obviously. For people like Wendell Clark, Mike Gartner, Dave Andreychuk, and these others to score, he's the man that dishes the puck.
He'll take the draw with Ruutu to the left of Ed Belfour.
Took 40 seconds, and Pat Burns took Dave Andreychuk right off the ice. Didn't leave him on very long at all for this power play.
You see the great majority of Gilmour's points with the man advantage in this series. Gartner to Gilmour. He's got Mironov on the point now with Elliott. Elliott just lobs one in and hit traffic in front, goes wide to the glove side. Mironov again back to Elliott. Elliott shot, he score! Might have been tipped in front. Took 58 seconds for the Leafs to dent the net behind Belfour on their power play.
Now, it wasn't a hard shot by Dave Elliott, but he got it on goal with two Leafs standing in front. He started back in the corner where Gilmour and Mike Gartner did a good job in handling the puck. Finally, they got it forced back out to the blue line. Mironov was forced, and Dave Elliott here. He wants other options. Why not shoot it? It's not a hard shot. Now look in front. Two Leafs standing right there. Eddie Belfour can't see it. It may have hit Mike Gartner, and it's 1-0 on the power play. Does Chicago pay for too many men on the ice? Man, do they pay big time as Toronto scores quickly. Chicago won the draw. They won the draw, but Gartner went in and threw a body check, and that allowed Toronto to get the puck back. Gartner and Gilmour played keep away, finally got the puck back to the point, and then with Gartner and Wendell Clark in front, the puck got through.
John, you know Mike Gartner well. It's just got to be a load off his mind. He was traded by the Rangers to Toronto. One of the raps on Gartner was his non-productivity in the postseason.
Toronto's so thin at center ice, they tried playing him at center ice, and that experiment did not work. But he's been a good citizen for them. This is a big play. With Mike Gartner in front. Suter may even have deflected the shot. Anyway, went through the legs of Eddie Belfour. It's 1-0 Toronto, and Chicago pays big time for too many men on the ice.
And the Leafs will tell you turnabout is fair play. They insisted that 2 of 3 of Suter's goals on Sunday night hit traffic in front and found their way between the pads of Felix Potvin. So we'll see now if the stat that has held up throughout this entire series, the team scoring first winning, does indeed hold up tonight. It's going to of those stats that's always interesting, but you wonder how much it really means at the moment as Felix Potvin covers up in his goal crease. Face off in the Toronto zone with 4:38 to go here in the first period.
The goal that was scored on the Elliott shot. I mean, if you're Eddie Belfour, how do you see the puck? I mean, he's got a triangle of people standing in front of him. How do you see it?
You don't.
The puck may have hit number 20, Gary Suter, on the way through.
And then it made it glanced off Gardner as well.
Too many men on the ice was called by Andy Van Helden. Generally, the linesmen see it. It was so obvious that this time the referee saw it.
Well, the recipient of maybe the most infamous too many men on the ice penalty ever in Stanley Cup play is in the basement of this building tonight, Don Cherry, when he coached the Bruins in Montreal.
They cost the New York Rangers the Stanley Cup. The Rangers would have beaten Boston.
Yes,
losing to Montreal.
You heard it here first. Puck in the corner, you saw that stat. The team that scored first has won every game in this series. And a scrum for the puck and a whistle for a face-off again in the Toronto zone with 4:30 to go in the period.
You see the shots 9-2 at one time here in Chicago. Buffalo winning in the fourth overtime. Awesome. I'll tell you a story about that one in a moment.
Here's Wilkinson with a shot for the point, and Potvin had to be quick that time. It may have hit traffic in front.
Yeah, he was quick. There was traffic in front. Randy Moeller, who plays for Buffalo, was saying today that he told his teammates to quickly, somebody quick, go out and score, will you? It's cost me $150 so far for my babysitter. Look at the traffic. Go to the front of the net if you win draws. And you can see Felix Potvin really working, staying focused, trying to find the shot, makes a good save. And Potvin has looked sharp considering the fact that he took a full blast, a slap shot of the puck right off his face mask at warm-up.
Face off in the Toronto end. Gilmore again, he and Chance. Doug Gilmore is getting increasing ice time as the period goes on, and maybe he feels a bit better on that injured leg. He's not 100% physical, we can tell you that.
Look at the leg drive he's using here. You wonder about how he's able to do this. My Lord.
Meanwhile, in front of Potvin, excellent effort by Rich Sutter to get a backhander in on goal.
If goaltenders trust their defensemen, you can see Gilmore's face. It's starting to, the burning desire he has is starting to show. He's trying to keep his discipline. Goaltenders trust their defensemen, knowing that no one will be open in front. You'll see them go down and use and expect the stick to stop the low-angle shot. Again, Richie Sutter has no one to pass the puck to. He just tries to jam it. See, again, Potvin has made 3 or 4 saves in this period with the same type of system by dropping down. Everybody's covered, 3-on-3 in the Toronto zone. No one open. Potvin's down, waiting for the low shot. Makes the save look easy.
Face off to the left of Potvin this time. Again, it's Gilmore and Roenick, and this time Mr. Gilmore is asked to leave the circle.
Yeah, well, one of his teammates jumped in, so Gilmore has to be removed. Now Andrechuk takes the draw, and Roenick also has been tossed.
Oxman to face off, back to the point. Shot from the point is a save by Felix Potvin. The shot taken by Gary Suter. Loose puck, and it's Andrechuk of Toronto. 4 minutes to go, first period. Osborne dumps into the corner. Andrechuk will chase, but Amati beats him to it. Tony Amati fires to the New York Rangers in a late season deal. They can't clear the zone. Andrechuk, a good shot away, still loose, and it's taken by Murphy. Loose play by the Hawks in their own zone. Peter Zezel takes it away. He's in, and he's stolen by Belfour. Gets it back out to the point. The first big save of the night by Belfour.
Oh, Chicago needed that badly. Big save.
Let's see if it translates into positive momentum. Jeremy Roenick shot is blunted right away, but shot back into the Maple Leaf bench to face off.
And they're standing here, they're cheering. Eddie Belfour robs Peter Zezel. For Toronto, it's the checkers on the ice against the big unit. And look who gets the scoring chance. Peter Zezel, who is opposite Jeremy Roenick, gets robbed by Eddie Belfour. Belfour put his stick on the ice, expecting a low shot. He took everything away from Zezel. A big save. And isn't that a bonus for your team when your checkers get the scoring chance, not the big 5 of Chicago?
Oh, Zezel is sent head over T-Cat on. A good hip check by Randy Cunneyworth. Zezel looked up to Van Hellemond saying that's a penalty, and Van Hellemond said no.
It's right in front of Van Hellemond. He looks to be okay. I thought he was injured on the left side.
Well, Zezel's had problems with a bad back part of the last couple of seasons. That'll shake up your sacroiliac. Suter in front, and a save by Potvin on Cunneyworth.
Say what?
I'll explain that later. Here's Zezel, surrounded by Blackhawks. You know about sacroiliacs, don't you, John Davidson?
The only thing I can't say.
All right.
Bigger than marmalade, I can't say.
Here's Gary Suter. Suter to center. When he passes to Sutter, he really got a nice situation. In the slot, Ruutu. They want him to shoot. He does. The save by Potvin, who looks on his game tonight.
Oh, baby. And did Jamie McCowan get nailed by Dirk Graham in front of Potvin? He would have been wide open if there was a rebound for him.
And Belfour wandering from his net. That could be dangerous sometimes, but that's Belfour's game. Approaching the 2-minute mark of period number 1. Here's Eisenbart into the Toronto zone. Eisenbart in front, and they fan on it. It was Ruutu. They was set up nicely. Couldn't get anyone on it. Eisenbart again. Trying to get it to Ruutu again. Ruutu hauled down with Ellett. No penalty called for.
Chicago cannot penetrate the front of the goal. All their shots are from the angles, even though they're playing well.
Toronto finally clears their zone with a minute 38 to go in the first period. Everything on the line for the Blackhawks. It's win or else. That's the season. And the swan song for Chicago Stadium is a hockey rink. The Bulls will close out the sporting area, the NBA playoff. They're just starting for the Bulls tomorrow. Here's Chris Chelios.
Oh, man.
And Chelios is nailed by Wendell Clark.
Oh, a late hit, a hard hit, a high hit, and Chelios is hurting.
Chris Chelios just now getting to the Chicago bench. Last minute of play in the period, and Chelios will be able to use the rest.
He has his head down on the bench, Tom. He is one hurting Cowboy.
Wendell Clark is on a mission tonight. Not quite sure what it is, but he's on a mission.
Chelios, I don't know if he'll know exactly what day it is.
Well, the Blackhawks better hope so. Wait, all forward to lose him. Here's Graham. Taken away. Here come the Maple Leafs with 30 seconds to go in the period. Vanderbilt off the skate back to center, and Gill is in the zone offside. Face-off with 26.6 seconds left, and Dirk Graham sprawls to the ice.
That was key earlier, about 3 minutes ago, knocked down McCowan in front of Felix Potvin. And McCowan is mad. He wants to get back at him. These teams have to be disciplined here. Chris Chelios now comes off the bench and looks to be okay. He may ask Van Hellemond why no penalty. It was a late hit by Wendell Clark, and yes, he's upset with the referee, and I think he's right. Oh, man, did he get nailed. He moved the puck. Wendell Clark came down. Chelios had his head down, and he got absolutely nailed. Now look at the puck is moved. It's like one potato, two potato, boom, and did he get nailed?
You've heard the phrase behind the play, and why hockey is such a fast-moving game, you can't always see everything behind the play. There's an example, but to Chris Chelios, that's little excuse in his mind.
Not only did he get hit, he got hit high, right up in the face, and he's asking the linesman why they didn't make a call. Look at Cunnyworth here, move in with a hip on hip. Oh, and the 360 by Zezel, he lands heavily. I thought he was injured. He was slow getting up, but he too kept right on going. These teams are playing with great passion. They're playing hard hockey, and so far the discipline level's been there, and Andy Van Hellemond's let them play.
Steve Levy and Barry Melrose are standing by in our studios for our first intermission report, John.
I'll tell you what this is. This is Barry Melrose hockey right here.
Always got to love some of the hits in this game.
Baby.
Under 10 seconds to go. Intercepted by Sutter, but he won't get a shot away, and that'll do it for the first period. The Toronto Maple Leafs, Mike Gartner has the only goal of the game. Doug Gilmour and the Toronto Maple Leafs looking to close out this series tonight. If form holds, they will, because the team that scored first has won every game, but we still have 2 periods, and who knows, a lot more to come. The Maple Leafs go to their locker room. The Blackhawks the same. Both these teams need a rest. So do we. Let's go to Steve Levy and Barry Melrose, guys. To the Maple Leafs, it comes down to each team has 5 good players and 15 also-rans. Our 15 have to beat their 15, and I feel that our 5 good ones are better than their 5 good ones. Well, I think the point McCowan is making is the one we just made, John, that Toronto has a deeper offensive team, and it's paying off so far in the series. Patrick Kulak should put in on Potvin.
Where do he put himself? Is he one of the 5, the big 5, or is he an also-ran?
You'll have to ask him. I'm not going to assume. I could name 4 of the big 5, and I wouldn't want to leave Jamie out. I wouldn't want to hurt his feelings.
I don't think he could hurt his feelings, to tell you the truth. He is a character.
Here's Gilmore trying to center for Nikolai Borshevsky, who's been very silent in this series. And Belfour picks it out of the air with Wendell Clark in the area.
Now, Wendell used this stick. He tried to bat the puck out of the air as it went into the catching glove of Belfour. And Belfour talked to Van Hellemond on the play. Belfour trying to make sure that he keeps his cool. He could take penalty minutes. In fact, he had 61 during the season. It's a Hawk record, by the way. The puck's in the air, it's in the glove, and the stick arrived at the same time as the puck did. And Wendell's been very involved. Chelios there looking at Wendell Clark. No one on the Chicago club has gone over to Wendell Clark and tried to have a little dance with him, knowing that they are down by a goal now. Discipline's certainly a key, and discipline's always a key with Eddie Belfour.
Face off to the left of Belfour. Route 2 and Gilmore. Gilmore wins it again. Shot from the point, and Belfour hangs on with Gilmore right on the doorstep. Now going back to that McCown quote, he was talking about also-ran. Now, Gilmore, of course, is one of the big guns, but I wonder if he considered Mike Eastwood an also-ran, and who else? Rob Pearson and Bill Berg, Dmitry Mironov. I think they're not doing bad because they all have goals, those also-rans.
Well, Dougie Gilmore looks like he's going to be able to play with his regular ice time. He's had the ankle taped up. Doctor did a good job blocking the nerves so the pain doesn't bother him. And Gilmore said quite simply, when I asked him, I said, 2 days rest if you don't play, and if your team doesn't win, you'll be healthy for Game 7. He said, hey, if we win, I get 5 days off.
And Gilmore beats Gill, and a big save by Belfour. Todd Gill was cruising down the slide. Wendell Clark behind the net. Belfour's back in his net. Looking, and his teammates sweep it aside finally. And here comes Chicago. Randy Cunnyworth. Cunnyworth falls to the ice, but Van Hellemond is wise to those ways. No penalty called.
Ellett had hooked him, but Ellett let go of his stick so he didn't get fouled for a hooking. Not as much hitting here the first 5 minutes of the second period. That's certainly understandable.
He couldn't keep it up at that pace. We're picking him up off the ice. Here's Dirk Graham. Here's Sutter in front, and Rich Sutter fans on it. Brent Sutter fans on it. Again for the point. Brent Sutter on the doorstep.
Oh my! You know, Potvin did a great job with his goal stick, Tom. Sutter in front, the pass from the corner, and Potvin used his stick, knocking the puck aside so the pass could not be completed. And Chicago's trying to get some offense from players other than Jeremy Roenick's unit of 5.
There's a look at Brent Sutter, who made a living in his days with the New York Islanders, in front of the net, bothering the goaltender.
They smart around the goal. You see here, Chelios is in. You'll see the shot. You'll see people in front, and Potvin down, eats up the puck. Sutter's right there by himself.
There comes Todd Gill to say, please leave. Get out of the way. Brent Sutter playing for his brother. We have 3 Sutters, in case you're wondering. Darryl, the coach. Brent and Rich on the ice. 3 Sutters here.
And Dwayne, who is one of the coaches and the scout for the Hawks. He's here helping support the Hawks.
So Pup and Dog are both here. Dwayne and Brent.
Zenzel getting the primary work with the defensive draws, as he has all series long for Toronto.
Zenzel and eyes of Art. Zenzel wins it. Kent Vanderbilt just dumps it down the ice, and Belfour says, if you can get there, Carney, it's icing, and he does. And another faceoff coming up in the Toronto zone. And sooner or later, this has got to pay off for Chicago, all these icing.
A lot of faceoffs in the Toronto zone, but Toronto slowing the pace down. We mentioned a few moments ago about Potvin using his goal stick. You'll see the puck get dropped into the corner. Beautiful little pass. Dirk Graham's on the puck. Now as Brent Sutter goes to the front, now we stop it there. Look at Brent Sutter, all by himself waiting. But watch the goal stick by Potvin right there. Nice little backhand pass, a little tick of the puck, just tipping it with the goal stick does not allow Sutter the chance at scoring. That's a heads-up smart play by the goaltender, and he's using his stick extremely well in this game.
Felix the Cat Potvin had that great rookie run in the playoffs a year ago, and then signed a big $1 million deal, John, and he hasn't shrunk from his responsibilities. He's had a good follow-up season.
Not at all. Slight delay with something on the ice surface. Toronto trying almost at every stoppage now, either ice the puck, slow the pace down as much as possible. Shots are 18-9 here in this game in favor of Chicago, even though Toronto has the only goal.
And Zenzel again won the faceoff, which allowed the Leafs to clear their zone, but Chicago dumps it back in. I guess you can give up ices if you keep winning faceoffs. Leafs again trying to get it to center. They do. Pearson Over to Eastwood. He can't handle it, and it's Paul Eisenberg.
Does it seem to you that Ronick's ice time seems to have been lessened here? Not as much ice time in the second period.
Jeremy Roenick, in my opinion, has been slowed down a bunch since the first period of game number 5. He had great jump in the first period of game 5, got hit and brutally treated physically, and hasn't been the same since. He'll never admit it, but I'm sure he's not 100%.
We'll find something out after the series, whether he's been banged around. I think he has, too. He plays with such passion. What a great player he is, but the load is on his shoulders every single night.
Oh, Manderville gets laid out by Greg Smith. And here comes Murphy. Backhand. He crashes into the net, and it's a face-off. No goal. Oh. Well, I guess Greg Smith said this one is for Chris Chelios. Look out, Mr. Manderville.
This is what happens when you have to play the puck, and Potvin seems to be hurting his left leg as Murphy drove into the net and drove Potvin himself, the goaltender, right into the goal post. What a hit by Smith. Oh, man, does this turn the puck over in a hurry? Does this get the people involved? Manderville has to play the puck, and good night, Irene. Oh, man, did he get nailed. Right away, Chicago then went up ice. And Joe Murphy, who has great speed, was able to drive to the net as Manderville had a head-on with a Toyota sign.
He felt like he got hit by a Toyota.
Watch the left leg of the goaltender get driven, the back of his calf right into the goal post, as he made sure he kept the puck out and Joe Murphy out, even though Potvin ended up inside the net.
All that protection the goaltenders wear, John, they're still vulnerable in certain parts of their body.
Protection's on the outside, on the front side, not on the back side. The back of the legs and the back himself. The back itself, there's no protection back there.
Gilmore and Roenick wins the draw this time, but he draws it all the way back to center, where Greg Smith has to be quick to beat Osborne to it. Smith can't clear. Bill Berg keeps it in. 1-0 Toronto. 13:10 to go. Second period. Game 6. Western Conference quarterfinals. This is National Hockey Night on ESPN. Chicago and Toronto. And a Monty the shot and a save. Potvin who saw it all the way.
Again, Chicago can't penetrate the middle area of the ice. All the shots are from the outside.
Roenick from the outside. He's high and wide. Smith dumps it in the corner. Behind the net, Murphy trying to hit Roenick. Gilmore takes him out. Here's Roenick with it. Trying to get away from Lefebvre and the referee. And Jamie McCown ends up with it. And Osborne clears the center for Berg, and a 2-on-1 the other way. Berg and McCown. Bill Berg shoots, and Bill for the save.
There you go. It's a checking line, only this time Gilmore was on the ice in place of Zetzel. That's how good Gilmore is. He's great defensively, too. What a save by Belfour.
Welcome back to Chicago Stadium, and there's Greg Smith, a journeyman defenseman playing like an all-star at times tonight.
Well, watch him as Wilkinson, number 23, gets caught up ice. Only Smith is back. He will not allow the pass across, so Belfour can play his man. There's no way the pass would be able to have been made by Berg, so Belfour just plays the shooter and makes the save before help arrives. And remember, too, Smith threw the best body check on this period by Chicago with a big hit on Manderville. He has had a terrific start here in the second period.
And he was put on waivers by the Maple Leafs. Picked up by Chicago's Todd Gilstrap was sent in wide.
He was their number 9 defenseman. Here in Chicago, he's 5th or 6th, and it plays like that, you can see where he's improved his skills.
Let's remember, Cam Russell was out for the year. That hurts the defense, as does Steve Smith.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Chelios behind his own net. The hitting beginning to pick up again with 12:04 to go in the period. Potvin will play it, cover up with Dirk Graham on the door.
After having that severe concussion, there's Chris Chelios, hit this time by Dave Andrechuk. In Game 5 of this series, and you were in Toronto, Tom, I bet you Chelios was hit 20 times in that game.
Here's Weinrich with a drive off the glove hand of Potvin, who didn't see it till the last second, and he deflects it into the crowd.
Weinrich playing with the protection in front of his jaw because of a fracture that he had earlier in the season, caught with a slap shot up to the face. He's been noted in his career as a pretty good offensive defenseman.
Good shot.
And here you can see the shot, how it got through, and you can see Gilmore did not let Brent Sutter get to the net. He held him away from the goal, and finally Potvin was able to see the puck and knock it wide.
Eric Weinrich has always had a good shot for the point. Days, of course, with the New Jersey Devils and the Hartford Whalers before being traded here to the Chicago Blackhawks. Todd Gill along the boards. Cunningham muscles him into the boards. Gilmore tries to clear it and does so. 11:40 to go in the second. Still Mike Gartner's goal on the power play in the first period. The margin here, 1-0 Toronto. Brent Sutter off of Elliott in on putback and cruising in real hard for the Blackhawks was Cunningham. You know, he's done that several times today, crashing the net after shots, and he almost got there that time, JD.
Well, they're trying to go to the net. I mean, the season's on the line for Chicago. You have to play with passion. You have to do that. And Toronto's not allowing Chicago a chance to skate down the middle of the ice. Every time Chicago moves up, it's wide along the boards. Let's watch Dougie Gilmour with faceoffs going against a real smart guy and Brent Sutter. Let's watch and see who wins this one and who does what. You can see Sutter trying to sneak around Gilmour as he allowed Gilmour to pull the puck back into the corner. Gilmour will always stay with his man. Win the draw, lose the draw. He tries to stay with his man every time. But very interesting to watch these two battle. Face-off after face-off after face-off.
Getting back to that Sergei Fedorov injury, you know, good news for Detroit is they're going to force a 7th game with a 7-1 lead. Bad news is play game 7 without Fedorov, that could put a crimp in their style.
Yeah. A leg injury there, but I'm convinced, Tom, that he had the severe concussion when he ran into his own player, Sean Burr, on a West Coast trip prior to the end of the season. Then he was hit again in Dallas.
Yep.
He is, I don't think, right.
You never get a straight story from Detroit.
Oh, absolutely.
And we understand that.
He's just too good of a player to not be on the top of his game. That's how great he is. Yet he's in there, he's getting points. I just don't think he's 100%.
Clarify that. We know that organizations don't like to give out where injuries are located or how severe they are because the opposition gets that intelligence and they'll go for it. So you certainly have to understand the reluctance to give out information. All right, play back on. This is route 2 in the Toronto zone for Chicago. Bill Berg takes care of him easily. But it's Weinrich pitching in, turns around. His shot is wide on the doorstep. His eyes have already couldn't control it. Oh, he was all alone. Paul Eisebard, who has a good scoring touch around the net.
Toronto playing the counterpunch game. Chicago owning the boards, doing all the forechecking, and Toronto taking care of defense first with a 1-0 lead. And we've had 2 games in this series that have already been 1-0 games.
Both of them in Maple Leaf Gardens. Chelios laid out Gartner pretty good at center ice a moment ago. Here's Roenick on left wing, but he's being kept outside as Lefebvre does his job again. Again,
saying it right, Tom. The puck to the outside, nothing down the middle.
Roenick tries to take it away from Clark. Instead, it's Wendell Clark in, but his stick is lifted by Murphy at the last moment. Clark on the right side, can't control it. He'll take a tough hit from Chelios, who owes Wendell Clark a few things. And Clark pays back Roenick with a tough hit on the board. Boy, Wendell Clark is hitting. You know he's got to be related to Barry Melrose. And if we didn't know that, we know it now. Here's Gilmour. Bill Ford to Chelios. He avoids a hit from Andrechuk.
Andrechuk got him. Every single time Chelios moves the puck, somebody's hitting him. It doesn't matter who it is. Andrechuk, Gartner, Wendell Clark, everybody trying to eliminate Chelios out of the play.
Not a bad strategy if you're the opposition to the Chicago Blackhawks. Cunningham wheels one around and hits Brett Sutter in front. Never got close to getting to Felix Papa. Now here's Darby Hendrickson. Welcome to the NHL, Darby Hendrickson, as he's bodied down by Cunningham. Nikolai Borshevsky. Andrechuk takes a hit from Smith, and Andrechuk wants a little of Greg Smith. This could go.
Smith knocked Andrechuk offside. Andy Van Hellemond lets them play.
The sticks were down, the gloves remain on. So much at stake here tonight in Chicago. The season for the Blackhawks. Another hard hit, Gill and Graham, and whistle now.
Well, remember we said the hitting had stopped or had subsided somewhat? Wrong. It's back, and the people are loving it here in the Chicago Stadium. Absolutely loving it. Andy Van Hellemond has a great feel for games, and he's letting these players go at one another.
Don't be misled when I said there's a whistle. After all those hits, the whistle was for a 2-line pass. And the face-off back out at center.
Here we see Todd Gill. Dirk Graham moves in. Boom! In the neutral zone, a beauty. Andrechuk was knocked down by Smith. He comes right back at Smith. They have some words. And basically, everything is kept down, so Andy Van Hellemond let them go. Chelios, here's Mike Gartner. It's not a hard, oh, pardon me, Andrechuk. Yeah, he moves in. Every time Chelios has moved the puck, he's been eliminated from the play. And Toronto has some big players. Eastwood, Manderville, Pearson, Osborne, Andrechuk, even though he doesn't hit a lot, is big.
One point late in the season, I saw Chris Chelios in the airport. He was lifting. I said, you don't look like you feel too good. He said, I feel like a Mack truck. I go, really? He goes, yeah, a used one.
Gilmore on the ice here. You wonder if Zezel's getting a little less ice time. Maybe he's hurting and they're saving him only for faceoffs. After that big hit in the first period.
Gilmore goes to the corner, and there's Ruutu. His shot is blunted by the leg of Bob Rouse. And Manderville dumps into the corner for Toronto. He's taken down. Every inch of ice you got to earn tonight, and the price is high. 21-9, shots on goal, but Chicago trails 1-0. Uranov goes to the corner. The puck is covered up. Whistle for a faceoff with 7:51 to go in the second period. It is still 1-0 Maple Leafs.
He was so happy and excited about scoring the goal, he couldn't stop shaking after the game. Cliff Fletcher, the general manager of Toronto, he said that he was concerned about Eddie Belfour trying to draw penalties if he was in any collisions around his goal net. Ryan Lewis is a supervisor of officials. He talked about three things with Andy Van Hellemond and the referee staff: line changes, the goalie contact, and discipline. All three were addressed prior to this game. And so far, Andy Van Hellemond's had a great handle on this game.
Well, we saw the only problem with the line change occurred for Chicago. Too many men on the ice, and it cost them a power play goal.
And that was during play.
Here's Peter Zezel. Chelios. Off the boards to Roenick. Yeah, we haven't seen the business of all the line switching before faceoff tonight. Been well controlled. Peter Zezel, he gets a root hit by Amati at center, but it's Wendell Clark trying to dipsy-doodle his way around Sutter. Can't do it. Jeremy Roenick abruptly sent to the boards by Lefay. Murphy sent tumbling. Here comes McCown. Mike Gartner at center. Elects to shoot, didn't work out. Brent Sutter, long cross-ice pass to Dirk Graham. Leaves it for Sutter. Sutter, though, is double teamed.
The middle of the ice is cut right off again, Tom. The only way Chicago moves the puck up ice is to the outside.
Borshevsky with a shot. Hits the leg of Chelios. Rebound goes behind the net. Nikolai Borshevsky is not physical, but you give him some open ice, he'll make you pay. Dave Ellett at center for the Maple Leafs, who appear to be getting stronger shift by shift. With a one-goal lead with 6:30 to go in the second period. Toronto wins it, moves on. Here's Graham, who couldn't control it, but a whistle had blown anyway for offside.
Tommy, again, the Leafs force the puck to one side of the ice and they just cut it off right down the middle, and it's very difficult to try and beat it. Now again, let's watch Chicago here try and come out of their zone, and let's watch Toronto take care of this side of the ice. Now you see the Hawks on the puck. Let's watch all the blue jerseys. Now the puck is over to one side. Now again, stop it there. Look at all 5 players over there. That forces the dump in. You can't go down the middle. They're trying to force the puck over and down that side. It's a very tough system to beat. Pat Burns, I think, learned a lot of it. The one team that I think has done it better than anybody else over years and years of hockey is Montreal. They're very good at it. Jacques Lemaire coaches it. Pat Burns did when he was there, and he's gone to Toronto with it. It's tough to beat. You know, the one team that used to beat it all the time was the great Edmonton Oilers team, when Glenn Sather and John Muckler were running the team.
Here's Lefay in the corner. Hawks can't hold it in as Lefay clears it. Chelios with it. 6 minutes and counting to go in the second period. Isabard into the corner. Chicago hoping they can get that tying goal here in the second period. Chicago hasn't scored a goal since Roenick's overtime game winner on Sunday night in this building. Here's Chelios. Roenick into the corner, trying to center, but Lefay cut that off. Oh, the Leafs are really buttoning down defensively, almost airtight. And here comes Gilmore. Andrechuk, and Gilmore's in offside. That stops the play.
As Gilmore wants a penalty. He was interfered with, and you see this a lot in the National Hockey League. He tried to stop at the blue line so it wouldn't be offside. Ruutu, like a lineman in football, just drove Gilmore right into the other team's zone. Greg Smith did it earlier, remember, with Andrechuk, forcing the offside. It's interference, but very seldom you see a referee call it in a big game like this. Look at Gilmore. He's trying to stop, and Ruutu just shoves him right over the line. And watch, there's Dougie Gilmore appealing to Andy Van Hellemond. Maybe you can't understand what the front teeth missing there. It's hard to read.
Yeah, a little bit of a list without those choppers. The Bobby Clark look I think Gilmore has there with the
talk about Chicago. 21-9, they've outshot Toronto, but how many of them have been odd man rushes? Not many, if any at all. A few on the power play, and every shot's been from the outside. Nothing down the middle.
Weinrich dumps in for Chicago. Todd Gill on the right wing boards tries to clear it. And Belfour tells Weinrich to get there. He does, and another icing call on Toronto with 5:11 to go. Shots on goal. If you didn't look at the scoreboard and you looked at the shots on goal, you'd say, well, Chicago's got to be winning this game, right? Wrong.
Chicago's tried to carry the play, but Toronto is just so good defensively. And I don't think Peter Zezel's seeing much ice time right now, Tom. I think he's sitting on the bench right down near Damian Rhodes, the backup goaltender. I think from that hit by Cunninworth in the first period, the back or the leg must be bothering Peter Zezel.
Well, this game means a lot to Zezel, though, because you see, there's a lady he knows with the name of Mrs. Slaughter in Tampa, Florida, watching tonight. She told Peter, if you win the series, I'll bake you homemade apple pie. So there's a lot riding, JD, and more than just money here. Here's Keith Carney with the Blackhawks.
When you're in great shape, you're allowed to eat stuff like that.
Oh, that's right.
And I haven't had one for a few months.
That sounds delicious. Well, I had one today. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Not really. Roenick to Patrick Kulak, just laying there in front, and nobody to bat it in.
Roenick getting double shifted here. He's on the ice with Poulin and Shans now.
Roenick trying to control a rolling puck in the Toronto zone before he leaves, and Roenick is battered into the penalty box or the bench door.
The door was open. He was driven by Manderville. Toronto is punishing with their checks on Roenick, on Chelios, the big boys.
Eastwood gets it back. The shot, save, rebound in front of Belfour. He covers as Manderville was there, and Pearson is getting hot with someone.
With Carney, I believe. Manderville, Pearson, Eastwood, the big boys. They were big last year in the playoffs for Toronto. They're doing it again.
You know, it was in this stadium about 5 weeks ago. I saw Sergei Fedorov get hit with a clearing pass right on the knee, and he went down like a house of cards. Took him into the locker room. He was back for the second period.
That's great news for Detroit. You know, Artur Zirbe, the fine goaltender in San Jose, this is game number 80. 80, including regular season and playoffs, not including exhibition games. 80.
Mike Gardner with a shot for the point there, hit traffic in front. That's more than that Belfour plays. That's amazing. Belfour plays in just about every one of them.
More than I played in about 4 years.
But you had extenuating circumstances, Mr. Davidson. All right.
Some of the better forecheck by Toronto in the period now.
Well, the Maple Leafs are playing the perfect game for this stadium against this opponent. Clogging up the middle, using the body, because these are shorter confines than you'll find on most rinks around the NHL. And the Hawk fans are trying to get their team into it. Chicago is threatening to go 5 full periods without scoring a goal.
Chicago has not registered a shot in the last 6 minutes of play.
Here's Gary Suter. He'll try and change that, but Potvin saw it all the way. He'll hang on.
He's certainly not afraid to take a defensive zone face-off. His team has been good in that area.
Our storyline, part of it has to deal with Doug Gilmore even showing up tonight, let alone playing well, but also Mike Gardner's for his playoff goal. The only marker in the game. Toronto in Chicago, they love it when they get a power play in this building, don't they? 6 for 13 and shots on goal. That's about the only thing that's in favor of the Blackhawks right now as we take a look at our Visa storyline. And Doug Gilmore having a conversation with referee Andy Van Hellemond, albeit a brief one. Andy was in the Cap Center in Landover last night for that game between the Penguins and Caps, and he had a controversial call involving Kevin Hatcher in that game.
Yes, Bill McCreary's out with a bad back, one of the fine referees in the league, so that they're a little short. Here's Gilmore and Cunninworth. Cunninworth catches Gilmore right up alongside of the face. He was expecting the hit from Gilmore, and that's something, Cunninworth getting away with that is something that Andy Van Hellemond, I don't think, saw on the play.
Can't call what you can't see, but let's be honest, that should have been a penalty. Peter Zezel back to take this face-off for the Maple Leafs. It's a good sign for Toronto. Osborne takes a hard hit from Cunningworth. Sutter gets hit from behind by McCown. McCown comes up with a puck and pays for it. Bill Berg pushed around by Cunningworth, who's doing nice work in there. He's not scoring, but he's working hard.
Yeah, he threw a good body check, too.
Smith with a right in front. He hit Rouse up by the throat. Lefay hit Lefay up by the throat, and it nearly deflected past the goaltender Potvin.
This is a shift that belongs to Randy Cunningworth, who's on a termination contract. He's a total free agent at the end of the season. Some talk he may even go back to Hartford, but he feels his loyalty belongs right here to the Chicago Blackhawks. He threw a couple of body checks. He worked the boards. Look at him work Bill Berg right there. Look at him battle for the puck. This is the passion you need to play with when you're playing against a good, tough team. And Jamie McCown got sandwiched. Now here's the high shot off the helmet of Lefebvre, and Potvin found that puck. Puck came off of Lefebvre. I think it hit his helmet. That's what it seemed like when I heard the noise. Cunningworth with a great shift. Terrific shift.
Well, Cunningworth had some great years, of course, with the Pittsburgh Penguins while they were molding that team together into a Stanley Cup contender. Then was traded to the Hartford Whalers. Had some workmanlike years in Hartford. Always put in a good performance. Sent on to the Chicago Blackhawks. And he's not a big goal scorer for this team, but he contributes.
Now, what's interesting here is that line was on. They did a great job working McCown in particular, who got hit a couple of times. Now Ronick's line's on the ice, and McCown stays out to go against Ronick. However, we have a stoppage in Eddie Belfour's goal crease. A lot of snow was built up, and there's a hole in the ice. And I think this here, as far as I'm concerned, helps Toronto. It helps Jamie McCown and Lefebvre to get themselves a rest.
Yeah, this is something, you know, the Maple Leafs have accused Eddie Belfour of coming with creative ways to get a rest. Belfour has only faced 12 shots tonight. I don't think this is one of them.
I don't think he wants one here, no, but the ice has to be replaced, or repaired, pardon me. Cunningworth with some great hits. This is one on Billy Berg. Again, a hard-working shift.
Lost his head, didn't he? Or his helmet. Bill Berg.
Hard-working shift. Zezel's on the ice. He's been so hot. He's won 13 of 14 face-offs in this game. Imagine going 13-1 on the road. Most of them defensive zone draws. And he's ready to go opposite Jeremy Ronick again.
There's Peter Zezel, that straight-up skating style.
He psychs himself into these draws. Talking to the linesman.
Zezel and Ronick. And Zezel comes away with it from McCown. So another key face-off win for the Maple Leafs. Here's Bill Berg. Makes the shot, hits Chelios, and Chicago breaks out. 2:40 to go in the second. 1-0 Toronto. Murphy off his body into Potvin. Osborne will easily clear it. Up to Zezel. Chicago may have the edge in shots on goal, John, but they have not had any sustained pressure tonight on Philip Potvin.
Toronto has a big edge in the hits in this game, too. Here's an interference play by Joe Murphy as Bill Berg was knocked down, and he appears to be hurting. Bill Berg probably draws more penalties than any other Maple Leaf player. He gets up, looks to be okay, and he's been a great find for Toronto. He's got a great role to fill.
And there's Jared Belfour down with his right pad on the ice. If they won't do it right, I'll do it myself.
Now here, look at Joe Murphy pick off Billy Berg, and it's back in behind the play. Andy Van Hellemond saw it. So it's an interference penalty to Joe Murphy.
And the Toronto Maple Leafs, we showed you those imposing statistics earlier, how proficient they are with the power play in this building, in this series, have a chance to take a real stranglehold on this game the way things are going if they could pot another one here. 2:20 to go in the period, and the first 2 minutes of it we'll have Toronto on the power play. Our Dodge Intermission Report will have Barry Melrose with his behind the bench feature, and a look at the Detroit Red Wings' impressive victory tonight against the San Jose Sharks. Last we saw they were leading 7-1 late in the third period. There will be a 7th game at Joe Louis Arena. There'll be 2 7 games tomorrow night. The Meadowlands in New Jersey and Boston Garden. If you're in that area and you don't have tickets and they're available, buy them. That'll be something. Another face-off with 2:07 to go in the period. 147 on the penalty to Joe Murphy of Chicago.
Isn't it interesting that last year in the playoffs, last season, Chicago had problems with goal scoring. And right here again, just another season, a lot of different faces, but trouble scoring once again. Last season, It was Curtis Joseph in St. Louis shutting down Chicago this season. It's a real team effort here in Toronto. You've seen a great game from a defensive point of view by the Maple Leafs. And they're thinking defense before they're thinking or even considering offense, except for on the power play.
So the power play unit for Toronto goes to work again. Andrechuk out there with Borshevsky, Gilmore, Ellett, and Mironov on defense. And a weird bounce in front of Ed Belfour. He clears it over to Chelios, who'll dump it. No, he won't dump it. He'll let Toronto touch up and have the offsides called, so the faceoff will come out back to center. The late offside call. And Chelios just let him touch it.
You know, when Toronto gets in the power play, if you can take and eliminate Doug Gilmore, let everybody else play 4-on-3. Doug Gilmore was moving up ice. Look who's on him. It's Brent Sutter. Now watch Sutter get right up to him. Stay right with him. Put his stick right up against him. Now let everybody else play. Play 4-on-3. You eliminate Gilmore, you're eliminating one of the great players in the league on the power play, a great assist player. And Brent Sutter there was doing his job. Gilmore's got a very straight blade on his stick. It's a passer's blade, not a shooter's blade.
Face off won by the Leafs again. 1:13 to go. The penalty to Murphy. 1:23 to go. Or 1:30 to go in the period. In front, Wendell Clark tried to redirect the shot by Gilmore. It goes over the glass into the crowd. The face-off. Now the Leafs are arguing the face-off should be in the Chicago zone, but Van Hellemond says no. I think it should be outside the zone.
And he's talking it over with his linesman, and they'll make the decision. Gilmore again is a passer more than a shooter. He has a very straight blade on his stick. For that reason there, he tries to move the puck in front, and the men in charge, the referee and linesman, are saying the puck went off of Eddie Belfour and into the stands. Belfour waits. He sees Gilmore. He's concentrating. Now he's getting ready. He's in his position. Actually, the faceoff should have been outside. I don't think he did touch Eddie Belfour.
But they faced it off into Chicago end. Elliott shot hits Gartner in front. This time goes to the corner. 55 seconds left in the Murphy penalty. Gartner, he and Gilmore operating behind the net. Chelios cuts Gilmore off very nicely and allows Ruutu to ice it. Elliott back behind his own net. Last minute of play in the second period.
Not much secret here. The Toronto power play. Get shots from the point, not even hard ones, and put people in front.
There's a shot by Mironov. What a save, and he's down. And now he's up. He got up slowly.
May have gone off the side of his helmet.
Wow. 20 seconds to go in the Maple Leaf power play. Elliott tries to keep it in, can't do it. Mironov back in his own zone. Murphy will be out in 10 seconds from now. 30 seconds to go in the second period. Steve Levy and Barry Melrose coming up in our Dodge Intermission report in just a moment. The penalty is over to Murphy. Teams are even, but here come the Maple Leafs Eastwood, and his centering pass is cut off by Graham. He had Gartner on the right side, couldn't get it to him. 10 seconds in the period. Murphy to Sutter. Murphy, he'll take the shot. Saved by Potvin. Loose puck behind the net with 3 seconds to go. That'll do it.
Again, as the period ends, it says it all. Potvin has a shot, but it's from a bad angle, as Toronto has another brilliant defensive period. A brilliant period defensively. Chicago could not penetrate the middle of the ice, and every shot's been from the angle, and Potvin's been perfect. He's had 24 come his way. Watch where the puck ends up. Way out to the outside, and Potvin's been playing his angles well. No hawk in front. Great defensive period by Toronto once again.
Shots on goal in the period, JD. 11-8 in favor of Chicago, but the only goal of the game by Mike Gartner. That was a power play back in the first period. 1 period to go, maybe, in the Blackhawks season. Steve Levy and Barry Melrose take it away. The Chicago Blackhawks have not scored a goal in a series with Toronto in the last 100 minutes. If they don't score at least one in the next 20, their season will be over and the NHL era in the stadium will end. The shots, they came a-coming in that second period, but none of them beat Felix Potvin, John.
Well, look where they come from. Here's a face-off win. It's an angle shot. Potvin makes a nice save. Look at this. A long shot from the blue line. Potvin makes an easy save. Another shot later in the period. Look at the angle. Toronto is closing down the middle of the ice. The Hawks cannot get to the front. Potvin seeing everything. He's had an easy time of it thus far.
And the statistics through 2 periods of play at the stadium on Madison Street tonight. The face-offs in favor of Chicago, the shots in favor of Chicago, But that one stat, the only one that counts at the top, is not.
You really think about it, Chicago had an early power play in the first period, and Joe Murphy had a backhand shot on a rebound. It may be the only rebound shot Chicago's had through 2 periods, and it's by far the only real good quality shot they've had. Eddie Balfour stretches, limbers up, and gets ready for the 3rd period.
The only goal of the game, 14:49 of the first period, by Mike Gartner, his first playoff goal. You know, the highest recorded decibel level here is 130. If the Hawks tie this one up or win it, it could break that, but a lot of work lies ahead of Chicago.
The great fans here in this building, year after year, game after game, and right now they are doing their best to fire up the Hawk Hockey Club as they trail by 1 in what could be the last period of play as far as hockey goes in this grand old building.
I'm going to miss it, John. I really am.
Oh, it's fabulous. No elevators, no escalators. None. Zero.
It's a retired goaltender's dream, isn't it? All right, play back on. And a giveaway in the zone. Gilmore to Gartner, who's knocked down. And by Brent Sutter. Well, that one would have been on Ed Belfour. Here come the Hawks back the other way. Chelios pulls up. Can they find a way to crash the net or get in on Felix Potvin? Haven't done it yet tonight. Gilmore comes out for Toronto. Boy, Doug Gilmore, he hasn't played as much as usual, but a lot more than I thought he would tonight.
Yeah, but he's been good in traffic. He's been good along the boards. He's had to use his leg, even though it's bothering him, and he's been able to do it.
Harry Suter. McCown cuts him off. Positional play extraordinary tonight for Toronto. Murphy couldn't get a shot away. Roenick, he's in the corner. He's not dangerous from there. And the Leafs clear again.
And another opportunity for Chicago deep in Toronto's zone. They cannot penetrate the slot, the area in front of the goaltender. Everything from the outside. McCown and Lefebvre have been fabulous against Jeremy Roenick's line.
Weinrich to Amati. Tries to get by Bird, does it, but for a price.
And Toronto has changed so well on the road here, Tom. They are changing with the makeup of Chicago. Roenick goes off the ice, so do the defensemen for Toronto.
Patrick Poulan dumps into the corner for Ruutu. Ruutu and Pearson, the puck resting on top of the net above Felix Potvin.
I tell you, Potvin was smart. He knew the puck was coming up on top of the net. And anyway, Potvin, what he does is he hides himself underneath the net so the puck doesn't come off the back of his body. Smart play. Real smart play. Now watch Potvin. The puck will come up, go right on top of the goal net. Now what's he going to do? Take his body and back it up, put it underneath the top of the goal net so if the puck comes down, it will not deflect off his body and back inside the goal net. See Chicago trying to penetrate. Here's Joe Murphy. He has the puck stripped away. And the battles continue, and again, Toronto wins another defensive zone draw.
And forces Neil Wilkinson to go all the way back in his own zone to recover that little rubber frozen disc that so far has only seen the net once tonight. That courtesy of Mike Gartner, Toronto. Greg Smith at center, and Wilkinson and he have to go back again. Blackhawks try and clear, but can't do it. Greg Smith with it. Off the boards to Poulan. Again, a loose puck at center. Toronto going to be content this period just to play rope and don't counterpunch.
Absolutely, not take any chances whatsoever. You never see the third forward for Toronto deep in the Chicago zone. Chicago's not been able to generate any offense off the rush.
Icing the call on Toronto. Chelios touches up. Matt Burns, his team is in a commanding position because only 6 teams have been shut out 3 times in one series. If they can shut out Chicago again tonight, they'll win the series. The last time it occurred, the Boston Bruins shut out the LA Kings in the Triple Crown line back in 1976. That's hard to imagine that LA team being shut out 3 times in a series.
Marcel Dion, Dave Taylor, Charlie Simmer. Dave Taylor recently retired. So the Triple Crown line is now an absolute memory. Great years they had.
You know the last time a team was shut out 3 times in a 6-game series, John?
Yeah.
You work in New York. You ought to remember these years. 1940.
Oh.
And the Rangers shut out the Maple Leafs, was it? 3 times in a 6-game series. The way it looks, 1994 could be their year, but a lot of hockey still remains. Puck in the corner. Gary Suter touches up again. An icing call on the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Chicago with a good forecheck. What they're doing is when the defenseman sets up behind Potvin, they're taking away the other defenseman. So the defenseman cannot pass the puck to the defenseman. And Gill and Ellett are talking about it right now. And Toronto, they're trying to break out. Chicago's trying to be smart and patient. But Toronto, if they can't complete the pass, it's icing. So it's another defensive draw. And for Daryl Sutter, man, the work ethic's been there, but they just cannot generate offense against this well-schooled, strong, defensive Toronto Maple Leaf team that's big and playing big.
Gilmore and Roenick, 2 big names themselves. They're going after this face-off. Ron Finn lines them up. Roenick wins it back to the point to Suter, but he's got to cruise to the middle, doesn't shoot. Now he does. He's just wide. Oh, a good decision by Suter that time. Chelios is well wide. Suter again. He was the hero here Sunday night with a hat trick. Chelios bombs away. Potvin the save.
Tommy, see what happens when you win a draw?
Chelios taken away by Clark, and Ellett will dump it out. First flurry by the Blackhawks, God, I can remember in quite some time. Back the other way, Clark, his shot hit Chelios.
It's one of the few times Chicago's won a draw in the Toronto zone, and things happen. Puck possession, offense, shots, everything.
Suter up his own left wing. He's being hooked by Gartner, and it must have worked because the puck is coughed up, and here's Zenzel. Zenzel in front, and Belfour, lucky for him, he was hugging the post. Eric Weinrich, Zenzel on his back. Peter Zenzel and Bill Berg, 2 of the biggest pests you will ever run into if you happen to be playing against Toronto. Here's Berg with it.
Gilmore getting double shifted here as we begin the 3rd period.
Superman must be feeling better. Osborne out of his own zone. Double team. Gilmore, though, continues on. The dangerous Gilmore tries to slip to the fence. Can't do it, but what an effort. Here's Gilmore again. And Belfour has to cover up. Gilmore's in the net. That doesn't count. 1-0 Toronto back at home. Jeremy Roenick. We saw him drinking heavily from the water bottle before. You see his left eye. That's Roenick's left eye with a cut above it. He's got a laceration around the nose. And he's played 16, almost 17 minutes tonight. Less than he normally would.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You'd think he'd be up around 21 minutes about right now with 10:45 to go in the 3rd period.
Again, Gilmore wins the face-off for Toronto. McCown up the boards.
By the way, in 1940 with those shutouts, it was the Rangers and Boston. And I know it because the note was just passed to me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have.
Wait a minute. You were about 1940 all the time.
That's a terrible thing to say, 1940. That's just a horrible thing to even think about.
You know something? If the Rangers beat the Devils in the Eastern Finals, you know, Bill Cassidy of the Meadowlands is going to do it.
I'll tell you one thing, congratulates the Washington Capitals for a great series in beating Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh 2 for 27 on the power play.
Dirk Brown with a shot, hits traffic in front, and Potvin almost was victimized by a terrible bounce. Well, Jeremy Roenick, he's going to have to play a little above the just human level to lift his club here in the last 10:02.
He's really trying to find a way to juice up his teammates. His line, along with Suter and Chelios, have had a lot of ice time, not only in this series, but this season.
Keith Carney lost a high fly ball into the corner. And Lefebvre comes up with it for Toronto. And shoots it over the glass into the crowd. Face-off back in the Maple Leaf zone. Sylvain Lefebvre, acquired a couple of years ago by the Maple Leafs, and he's been a valuable acquisition. Lefebvre, just 26 years of age. Good size for a defenseman, 6'2", 204 pounds.
He now just went to the bench with McCown, and the chess match continues. Now Chicago gets a change. The faceoff is in the Toronto zone. So Roenick's unit of 5 comes on the ice with Amonte, Joe Murphy, Gary Suter, Chris Chelios. This is a matchup that Daryl Sutter's waited for. So now this line or this unit goes against Zezel, Manderville, Pearson, and it's not McCowan and it's not Lefebvre. It's Rouse and it's Ellis. So this is a matchup Chicago wanted. Let's see if they can do something with it.
One of those famous venues in all the sports, Chicago Stadium may have less than 10 minutes of hockey life left. The fans get into it. They played the first game here in December of 1929. Will this be the last hockey game ever played in this building? The next 9:37 will tell. And maybe more if Chicago can tie it up. Desperately keeping the puck in is Chelios, but Ron Finn says he didn't do it. And the faceoff will come outside the Toronto zone. 9:28 to go in regulation.
Zezel's only taken 2 faceoffs this period, but he's won them both. He's 15 for 17. Does he work on quickness this time? Look at the power. His stick was underneath Ronick's stick first, and he just pulled it back as hard as he could and pulled the puck with it, and that allowed his team to attempt to get the change.
Ronick takes a seat again. Suter and Chelios also. Out for Chicago is Shantz, Dubinsky, and Rich Sutter with Carney. And Weinrich on defense. And Peter Zezel awaits another faceoff, psyching himself up.
He really does, doesn't he? He sort of paces and moves around, talking himself into it. Then he times the drop.
Zezel broke in with the Flyers, played for a time in St. Louis, now with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and healthy again for the first time in almost 2 years. Some bad back problems.
Well, you wonder if he's healthy after that body check in the first period by Kennywood.
Maybe his body is, but his head is probably seen better days. Behind the net is Gardner. He has the only goal tonight. Back to the point to Ellis. Dubinsky for Chicago. Up the center and lining up with the blue line. Gill and Ellis. Just to dump it back. You dump it in, they'll dump it out, and that'll work for Toronto tonight. Chicago's only hope get a break. A spin over the zone. A bad bounce. And here is Sutter. The shot. Touchdown to Sutter.
There's a great pinch by Chris Chelios. Chicago needs scoring. Chelios stayed in from his right defense position. He stayed in and battled one of the Leafs, controlled the puck, and set up Sutter for the shot. One of the few shots by Chicago in this game from the slot. It was a wrist shot up high, but it was in the middle. Just a great pinch by Chris Chelios. Watch the puck move right around the boards. Gill's on the puck. Gill's on the puck. Now, look where Chelios is. Right there with Wendell Clark. Keeps the play alive, and here's one of the few shots from the middle of the ice, and Potvin makes a save with a defenseman screening him.
Watch the right skate.
Oh, absolutely.
Left skate. Yeah.
Left skate. Now look at Ellett. He's caught. He screens Potvin, but he eats it up. One of the few shots from the middle on Potvin all game long.
The little things, John. The left skate of Chelios. He had his hands and his stick tied up. Used his left skate to almost give Chicago
the great
a chance.
players. Mike Keenan made the deal when he was running Chicago. He harassed Serge Savard, who was in charge of Montreal. Serge Savard, the great general manager there. Mike Keenan went to Montreal, stayed at the hotel. Bothered Serge, bothered Serge, bothered Serge. Nothing happened. Serge then went on a holiday with his family to one of the Caribbean islands. So Mike kept calling him there. So finally, Serge had to make the deal so he was able to go and enjoy his holiday. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gotten out of the hotel room.
And Chelios came to Chicago. This is his hometown. Played for the University of Wisconsin, and they've loved it ever since.
Should mention that Denny Savard went to Montreal, and he has a Stanley Cup ring. Montreal won a cup, and Savard was part of it.
And Chelios was responsible for taking the Blackhawks to a final just a couple of years ago. Lost out to Mario Lemieux and the Pittsburgh Penguins. So both have helped their teams. Of course, Denny Savard moving on after last year down to Tampa Bay. And we trust Denny is watching tonight. Well, the Blackhawks are up against it. They trail 1-0. They have but 8 minutes, 21 seconds left to do something about it.
Now this was a previous faceoff. Look at the stick of Zezel get down and underneath Ronick's. It's underneath. The puck comes down. Now it's a war of muscle. And Zezel can out-muscle Ronick and pull the puck back. Now we have the same face-off area, the same two centermen. Let's see what happens. Zezel tried to do it that time. He did it too quick. Now he gets tossed out.
Only 3 shots on goal registered by the two teams in this period, and we played 11 minutes.
He doesn't get tossed out. Let's see how Zezel goes at Ronick this time. Oh, he tried a different strategy.
And Ronick controls it. Ronick, quick shot, but Zezel pushed it aside. Vanderbilt hit hard by Cunningworth. Graham is in there mucking for possession. Cunningworth kicks at it, and another face-off call. Only 2 shots on goal by Chicago this period, only 1 for Toronto.
Now let's watch Tommy this face-off. Remember last time Zezel got a stick under and pulled the puck back. This time he tries to bat the stick away of Roenick. Watch him try and bat it. Now pull the puck back, but Roenick got there quickly. So we're seeing all kinds of different strategies with the idea of winning a defensive zone face-off. Zezel bats the stick, tries to pull the puck, but Roenick used his foot beautifully and beat Zezel. So different systems, different styles with every drop of the puck.
And great work by our camera crew to give you a real close-in look at the most unappreciated part of the game of hockey, at the face-off, so often taken for granted.
It's a 1-0 game, Tom. This is really important. Every one of these draws in the Toronto zone.
Zezel wins it cleanly back to Lefebvre.
He's had a great game. He's had a great game winning draws.
Well, he wants that apple pie.
Now Chicago has to force a turnover.
Oh, he does.
They don't get it.
Let's not forget the important things in life. Mrs. Slaughter put it in the oven, although there's still 7:46 to go. Here's Gilmore. Pearson. Chelios tied up in his own zone. And a whistle. No whistle. I stand corrected. I thought I heard that. Loose at center, and Suter picks it up. Again, Roenick final take a rest. Lefebvre with it behind his own net. It would be a real sore way for the Chicago Blackhawks to end their season, not only with losing the series to Toronto, but to be shut out in 3 of the 4 defeats if it should come out that way. In front, Eisenbart trying to shut me up. Got it wide. Here's Todd Gill. 6:53 and counting. Intercepted by Gardner with a hot corner stick, and Rutu is at center. Made a risky pass, and Pullen couldn't keep up with it. Felix Putman will take no chances from here on in.
And you got Zezel, who's won 16 of 20 draws, and didn't seem to take any for a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden, Pat Burns has gone right back to him. Zezel jumps over the boards again as the Hawks have to be getting frustrated here. They just can't get the puck towards Putman's goal. Cunningworth, Roenick in front of the Chicago bench. Look at Pearson with a shot on Roenick. Roenick will retaliate a little bit. Pearson tries to draw the penalty. But you can see Roenick, Chelios, the great players for Chicago have been hit. They've been hit. They've been bumped. They've been hit. Toronto has won 11 of 17 in this period. There's been a lot of face-offs in this game, to be honest, a lot more than normal. And the key ones, Peter Zezel has been exceptional on. A delay here by Lefebvre changing a stick, trying to again find time to settle down his team in their own zone. And Zezel never stands still.
No,
always moving, always moving.
Zezel's a guy who earlier in the season when he hadn't played, he missed a whole bunch of games with the back injury. They asked Pat Burns about him. He says he has contributed nothing to this hockey club. I don't know what to think of him.
He was in the Chateau Bow Wow.
Well, he's out of that house now, isn't it?
Sutter beat him there.
Shot from the point, hits Rick Sutter in front.
It's been about as close as Chicago's been with their offenses after winning a draw.
Oh, a line of ice to shoot, and Putman makes the save on Eisenbart. Eisenbart had room to tee it up and let her fly.
Is anybody in front, though?
No.
Nobody. Nobody can get in front.
Puck loose at center. Rouse finally corrals it for Toronto. Tension mounting with every tick of the clock. 6:13 to go. 1-0 Leafs. Chelios in his own corner. You have to wonder, John, when the Chicago defensemen are going to take some extraordinary chances.
Yeah, they're trying to. We've seen Chelios pinch, but Chelios and Suter, they haven't been in on the rush very much. They've been eliminated generally after every pass.
Rona gives it away. Gardner the shot, and Belfort the save, and rebound is cleared aside. Eddie Belfort came up big on that rocket from Mike Gardner. In the corner, they crash and dive for possession. It's Murphy. Still nobody in front of the Toronto net. Murphy tries to do it himself, but he's stripped of it. The shot back to Suter. Hits traffic in front. Murphy with it in the corner. Roenick. And Gilmore without a stick. He had it taken away by Suter.
Well, you can do that. Gilmore grabbed the puck and slid it up ice, the hand pass, but you can do that in your own zone.
Clark Loses possession of the Chicago zone.
Chicago puts pressure on once again, and again the defense of Toronto clear the front of the net. Nobody open whatsoever. No one. They're like snow plows clearing people out.
Get out of their way. 5 minutes even left to go, maybe in the season for the Chicago Blackhawks. They need to get at least one, and that's been tough to do. 115 minutes without a goal in this series consecutively for the Blackhawks. Honeyward, he's onside, but everything is tied up in the middle. This is like forcing a basketball team to do nothing but take three-pointers from the wing. If you can't penetrate down the lane, you're not going to be too successful.
Not three-pointers from in front, three-pointers from the side.
Yeah.
The sideline.
Belfour wanders out of his net as he's wont to do. Oh, Weinrich at the back of it coming the other way. 4:10 to go, regulation time.
There you see Chicago trying to hit the middle of the ice. Can't do it. Closed off almost every single time.
They line it up like bowling pins at the blue line, and it's a great strategy. Sutter, Brent Sutter, and Rich Sutter paying the price. Brent Sutter to Eisenbart. Back to the corner. He had Chelios set up at the point.
See the body work by the Leafs. Two crushing hits on the Sutter brothers.
Chelios to Gary Suter. He lost possession. Roenick is in the corner with 3:33 left to go. Toronto wins the game. They would move on to the second round. They don't know for sure yet who they play. Here's Murphy. Chelios. Dezel ties his stick up, but Amati keeps it in and sends a soft one in on top of it. Easily handled by Bill Berg of Toronto.
Jeremy Roenick on the ice again, Tom. He is trying.
Chelios behind his own net. The Hawk fans with one last vocal support. But it won't work. Icing on the Chicago Blackhawks. Face off in the Hawk zone. Less than 3 minutes to play.
They're all standing.
They're great fans in this town. What a great hockey town this has been. What a great building it's been for us to have the privilege to broadcast in, but still 2:44 of business to take care of. Weinrich taken down legally by Manderville. The fans trying to lift every ounce of energy from their heroes. Roenick gives it away at center, and Pearson will just lob one in on Belfour. Comes out to cut it
That's a pretty good lob. That was a good shot, accurate shot. Roenick on the ice again as Daryl Sutter's trying to double shift him here. The last 3 minutes, we're down to 2:22. Face off and back to the Chicago zone. The offside pass. Daryl Sutter still has his team's timeout. As you see, Jeremy Roenick, look at the color of his jersey. He's been battled again. He's got battle scars to show. Those are the ones we can see.
Yeah.
The body injuries on the inside. Something you may hear about if Chicago loses this series tonight. He has given everything he's had all season long.
You look at those faces and the bruised bodies, John, and it's no wonder that the Stanley Cup is widely regarded as the toughest championship to win in sports.
When you can play 28 games in 56 nights, and they're battles like this one, or like this series has been. Remember, these two teams played each other the last 2 games of the regular season.
Yes.
So this is the 8th consecutive battle with these two teams. It, in my opinion, is the toughest championship to win.
These two passed hatred one-on-one a long time ago, as my colleague Bruce Burnett likes to say. They know each other too well. There's Jeremy Roenick at center. Roenick, one last steam, drops it. The shot by Murphy, wide of on in front. Huffman kicks it out of the air.
And are they making Murphy pay for getting to the front? Gilmore with a rabbit punch to the back of the head. Oh, now some of the fans throwing debris down.
That's part of it. That's awful. Emotions getting the best of people.
It looked like the Hawks finally had a chance for some kind of a shot from in front. It was not a clean shot. And then Murphy got to the front of the net, and he was surrounded, he was harassed, he was punched, he was battled hard, and no penalties to be, well, yes, there is penalties to be called. think both teams will get penalties. And let's watch the rush here. One of the few times Chicago's got offense on the rush. It's a shot right there by Murphy, but he's checked from behind, and there he goes to the net. Now watch him pay. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots. And Gilmore from behind, 4 shots. Man. He really paid to get to the front.
Well, McCown and Murphy are given coincidental minors, and this takes a very creative offensive force away from Chicago. Now Murphy, he'll sit.
There you see the back checking by Wendell Clark as he tries to get in front. You know, when Murphy had this shot, there he pays. He bumped the goaltender and he paid, surrounded by men in blue.
Chelios, meanwhile, talking to Ed Belfour, undoubtedly talking about when do I come out of the net, what situation, and how much time left, because the season, not a game, is on the line.
Could be interesting here is we're going to have 4-on-4 action. First time we've had this. Now this opens up the ice. Opens it up for Roenick. Opens it up for Tony Amonte.
Yep.
And this may be something Chicago's been looking for. It could be a break for them. With 5-on-5, they just did not have any open ice. No space whatsoever. Now they just might get that. And with McCowan in the penalty box, you're not going to see McCowan on Lefebvre as a defense pair against Roenick. You're going to see Lefebvre stay out, but he now has Bob Rouse as his partner. Chicago has the timeout to deal with yet. Remember that. To try and rest these people if necessary. 1:57 to go. There's Jamie McCowan. He sits in the box. Belfour still in goal.
All right. The face-off deep in the Toronto zone. Zezel awaits for Toronto. Roenick for Chicago, and we're not overemphasizing the importance of this face-off.
Zezel talking things over with his teammates about what he's going to try to do here on this draw.
Watch and enjoy. You'd call that a tie. Now who's going to get possession? It's Chicago. Amati with Lefebvre on his back, and a good job at Sylvain Lefebvre. There's it back into the Chicago end. Harry Suter with Zezel in his face has to go all the way back behind his net. Here comes Suter with a head of steam. Belfour still in the net. Minute 30 to go.
Well, Lefebvre has to be tired. He had a 20-second shift, and he's gone to the bench.
It's 4-on-4. Belfour's going to have to play this as he comes out.
Belfour's got to go to the bench pretty soon. 1:20 to go.
Chelios drives it in. The Hawks will try and get a face-off in the Toronto zone if they can. Chelios keeps it in. And Belfour is out of the net. He's on the Chicago bench. So it's a 5-on-4 power play for the rest of regulation for Chicago. And a whistle, a face-off coming up in the Toronto end.
Eisenbart came off the bench for Chicago to replace Eddie Belfour. Joe Murphy is in the penalty box with Jamie McCowan. Otherwise, you would see Murphy on the ice with Amonte and Roenick. Chicago now, I think, will delay here and try to use a timeout. I think they'll wait as long as possible before they call it. So they, in essence, they may try to get 2. Now, Andy Van Helmon's looking over, and I think the timeout's been called by Chicago. So the Chicago team has gotten themselves about 30 extra seconds before they called the timeout. Now they get the timeout, and it really gives Roenick in particular, along with Chelios and Suter, a good chance to catch their breath.
84 games in the regular season, maybe 10 or so in the preseason. The grind of the Stanley Cup. And they ask you all season long as you come to the stadium to remember the roar. And if somehow Chicago could score to tie this, the roar would be definite.
Remember this, no escalators, no elevators, no suites here in this one. The new one will have 8 escalators, 9 elevators, and 216 suites. That's 216. That's why the change. The Leafs have played a great game defensively. Chicago's going to throw everything they possibly can now at Felix Potvin. Here we go.
Yeah, and you know, let's give kudos to Felix Potvin. Belfour arguably was the #1 star in the last game at Toronto as Potvin only faced 17 shots. Tonight he's faced 27. He stopped all of them.
Toronto only has 1 centerman on the ice. Only 1 if Zezel gets tossed out.
Sports Center coming up next, right after our hockey coverage tonight from Chicago. 1 minute and 5 separate the Blackhawks from elimination and the Chicago Stadium from its end as a hockey venue in the United States.
Chicago smartly here used Brent Sutter. He beat Zezel, remember, earlier in the period on a draw. So they use him instead of Roenick to free Roenick up. Here we go.
And Sutter could not keep it in the zone. Chelios, last minute of play, maybe in Chicago Stadium history. Into the corner. Bill Berg has it for Toronto, but only momentarily. The Blackhawk net, remember, is empty. Here comes Amani with possession. He tried to get it on the stick of Chelios, ends up into the crowd, but the faceoff remains in the Toronto end.
Chicago outnumbered Toronto for the puck along the boards 3-1. Finally, they got the puck. Amani could not find anybody open. Roenick stays on. Chicago, I think, would like to delay this a little bit to give their players just a second to catch themselves. Again, if Zetzel gets thrown out of the draw, Bill Berg would have to take the face-off.
That sign is very apropos. Those fans hope that they didn't have to unfurl it tonight.
Actually, it's 39.2 seconds right now. A face-off in the same spot. Zetzel cranks himself up. It's against Brent Sutter. Here we go again.
Sutter and Zetzel. Zetzel's been so valuable tonight. Wins it again. Draws it to the corner. Now can the Leafs clear it? Yes, they do. It won't be on net. The Chelios touches up and icing to call on Toronto with 29.5 seconds left.
Nice smart play by Lefebvre. Generally, a defenseman may panic, grab the puck, and just blast it. But he waited and waited and waited. And then he finally flipped it out for the icing, pardon me. But they took their time. Lefebvre, what a game he has played. Pat Burns had him in Montreal, and when he got to Toronto, he requested the trade. It happened, and he's been sensational.
The final 30 seconds of the Western Conference quarterfinal series may be between Chicago and Toronto. Pat Burns' team leads it 1-0.
Chicago's got to get the shot. They just need one. Crowd the net, try to screen the goaltender, but Zetzel's been so good on the draws.
Well, they get it to the point to Suter. He and Chelios. Suter assessing the situation. There's a loose stick in front. Suter fakes the shot. Now the wrister. And Pat Van May got a piece of it.
Dave Ellett got it too.
Yep.
They tried to work Zetzel, who lost the stick on the draw. They can't get the shot through.
Less than 10 seconds to play. Last chance for Chicago. Roenick, the shot to the crease. It's just wide. Chelios has got to shoot. He does. And it's over in Chicago. The Toronto Maple Leafs have eliminated the Chicago Blackhawks in a first-round playoff series, 4 games to 2, shutting them out in 3. The feeling of dejection. Daryl Sutter shakes hands with Pat Burns. And now we have a chance to show you one of the great traditions in sport. 6 tough, grinding, physical games, and what do they do at the end? They look each other in the eye and say, good series, congratulations.
You hear the fans chanting? They're chanting Eddie. Eddie Belfour gave the Hawks a great season. Felix Potvin gave his team a great series. Very competitive teams. 2 teams very well coached. And now Toronto has a chance for Doug Gilmour and others to recover 5 days before their next series. And the grand old lady right here, the Chicago Stadium, dies a very, very, I guess, slow death. The fact that they lost the last game, didn't even score a goal for the grand old lady here.
Well, John Sinatra played here, Presley played here, Hope played here, Crosby played here, and for the last 64 years, the Chicago Blackhawks have played here. They will play here no more. Tremendous site for hockey, tremendous venue, but as Brett Hull said in St. Louis a few weeks ago, it's onward and upward. Bring in the new, and next year it's the United Center. Jeremy Roenick and Wendell Clark, you don't think there's respect there?
There's immense respect with both these teams.
So for the final time from Chicago Stadium, Jeremy Roenick throws a puck into the crowd to salute the Chicago faithful. They're not booing him, they're cheering him, and that's the way it should be. The final score tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs won, Chicago nothing.